All right. So looking at the Latehomecomer, this is the author. I told you before that she is not Chinese, though that is commonly what her people are confused with. Not Mongolian either, because technically Mongolian were a clan or a tribe inside of China. Her people are called Hmong. It's Hmong is how you spell it, and it's in the description of the background for this. So the Hmong people were in China, Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. Last week, I think I said that they were in Cambodia, and there is a group of Hmong in Cambodia, but the main place where they lived, or most recently, is in Laos. A large majority in Laos and in Thailand is where they've immigrated to or migrated to. The reason why we're reading this is, again, another look at a story of what American upbringing can be. Kao Kelia Liang is how you say her name. They moved from this region of Southeast Asia to Minnesota just after the Vietnam War because of the persecution and genocide that the Laotians were having after the Vietnam War ended. Minnesota was one large area where a lot of Hmong people landed and immigrated to, including Missouri as well. We have a large Hmong population in St. Louis. You have a question, Connie?
I was about to say either the Vietnam because of the Vietnam War or China becoming communist.
Well, and those two are not necessarily separated, but the China becoming communist happened, becoming a communistic country happened in the 40s and 50s. Well, actually back to 1920s in just before World War II. Now, China, mainland China, is here. Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos are in this little panhandle section right in here. Okay, this is the region that her family came from. Now, the reason why the Hmong people are so important in history is that they actually cultivated rice for the first time. Though we don't have a large population that eat rice, most of the world does eat rice as a staple daily, kind of like we eat pasta or bread here. A lot of the world eats rice on a daily basis, almost at every meal. Have anywhere from sticky rice in the morning to a brown white rice at night. I mean, it's just very common in other parts of the world. You'll read about their upbringing in Minnesota, and this is a true story. Okay, so we can actually see images of her home that still exists today. Now, it's been a little bit updated from when she talks about the home, but it is this one right here with the longer steps and the driveway that she talks about crawling up the hillside. Okay, and the idea of it crawling up the hillside is because the hill's not very big, so the driveway seems much longer. Okay, what's up, Connie? Is this about the Vietnam War or is this about the Hmong people?
Hmong people and rice. The diet is called the Mediterranean diet, I think.
Nope, the Mediterranean diet is about the Mediterranean. This is a Southeast Asian country. So the Mediterranean is the Mediterranean Ocean in between Italy and over to Greece and Turkey and Africa. Okay, yes, Mediterranean Sea. Sorry, I said ocean. But looking at this group of people, you can actually see where this family grew up in. Okay, it's a smaller home. It's definitely, when she describes it, it's not as nice looking as it is in this picture. Okay, be very clear and understand that they aren't living in a wealthy area. They aren't a wealthy family. Okay, as you start to read through this, they'll be excited about their house, but in the fact that it's a new house. They talk about it as if it's a wonderful home because it's their first home in America. Okay. But they also talk about buying this house for $36,500 in the 1980s, which would have been a good amount of money. I mean, no matter where you are, that's a good amount of money. But the house was valued at $70,000 is roughly what it should have sold for. Why would they sell a $70,000 house for almost half of the price? Why would anyone do that in a neighborhood? What do you think, Connie? So you think a real estate agent's going to look at someone and go, you just look like nice people?
No.
You need.
How nice the seller is, and it's the people that find it are in a hard time.
It could be. It could be that someone's just taking, like having pity on them or trying to have empathy for them. That isn't the case in this. In the neighborhood they're moving into in St. Paul, Minnesota, a lot of the houses sold for half of the value. Why would any real estate agent literally take half of the price for a house, which means that they make half of the money, if not less than half?
Bad neighborhood.
That's the biggest part. It's a poorer neighborhood. And when they describe the house, they talk about a rotting porch. They talk about rotting boards. They talk about how some of the setup of the house is disorganized, and some of the rooms are smaller than what they thought it would be. Okay, they're not moving into a great neighborhood, and many of the Hmong people in St. Paul and across the country don't move into great neighborhoods, which is common for new immigrants into our country.
But Asian people are usually really nice.
That would be still a stereotype, right? It might be, but it's still a stereotype, because just as any group of people, there's good, there's bad, there's gangs, there's not gangs, there's educators, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's people that struggle with all kinds of things. Okay, so, but this is part of what I'm challenging with you all as well, Connie. So I'm glad you bring it up, is that I want you to challenge your stereotypes a little bit, all the way to the point of, right, and this is why I included her picture.